Pam here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we can do a really quick video on how to do the Vinyasa. Just that transitional progression that helps you connect the sides when you go to Vinyasa type class, or what you might see in some schedules called as a flow class. So why is it so important to really focus on the foundations and the alignment of something like the Vinyasa if it goes so fast? Sometimes because we go so fast transitioning from the high plank to the low plank to the back bend to the down dog is that we really do not notice how much energy is running in the body that could potentially benefit you in order to grow into other type of progressions or postures. What does Vinyasa even mean? It's the actual transition from one posture to the other, meaning the breath that is happening in the moment that you are transitioning. So you're placing the posture in a certain way in regards to how the breath is taking you there. So if you inhale when you lift the arms, that is the Vinyasa of lifting the arms, the inhale. If you take an exhale when you fold, then that breath is the Vinyasa that you are doing at the time, that exhale. But one thing to consider is that this little progression that is super common in Vinyasa style classes, flow classes, Ashtanga Yoga. In Ashtanga Yoga, you do a Vinyasa in between the sides just to transition into the opposite side. We adopted this progression and added so much more creativity to it to create the flow classes. But first, it's important to understand that the foundations of this progression will help you evolve on your physical practice. So there's three main poses that you connect in the progression of the basic Vinyasa. Chaturanga Dandasana, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, Bhujangasana, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And so when you connect these three poses with the breath, meaning that you breathe, you move. Once you get into the following breath, then you connect the next posture that comes that will ultimately create the little sequence. It's so important that when you're flowing or practicing Vinyasa yoga, that you use the breath to connect into a posture that will potentially take you deeper in maybe the same posture or on the following one. So then let's break down really quickly the alignment of these three poses and common misalignments so you know better than what you need to work on personally to just find that path of evolution on your physical practice. So let's get to it. So Chaturanga Dandasana, I could take the whole day talking about it, but again, we're trying to keep it somewhat short. So one thing to consider first, the spacing of the hands. Make sure that your hands are shoulder width apart. That when you are transitioning from coming from the plank to the low, because the Chaturanga is the whole progression from high to low, that you keep the chest broad and the shoulder blades as well. You don't let them sink in. If you let them sink in, that the chest maybe starts just pouring down, and that's when some misalignments on the shoulder girdle happen. So try to spread. When you're going down, you stop where the shoulders meet the elbows. So you make sure that, again, you're resisting by opening the chest and the shoulder blades. That's why it's so important to keep that line. And so this is how it will look like if you see it from a profile. Then same with the tip of the pubic bone, when it rises to the heart, it creates this sense of expansion through the lower abdominal line. Same with the sacrum. You still want to find that expansive line from the center of the sacrum to the sides, as if you're wrapping it with a belt. And that will kind of lock in the length of the torso. Lowering the knees is a very good variation if you are still building the strength of the triceps. If you're already practicing with the knees high, you make sure that you keep the line intact of the frontal body, back body, so you're able to build strength. For the back bends, it's basically the same alignment. One thing to consider is that expansion of the belly that was already bringing you down in your high to low, you bring it forward, and ultimately that's what will help you pick yourself up. Making sure that the back of the neck is long, because the back bend occurs from the expansion of the front side, and then the spine will follow that line. Same with the shoulder blades. In order to resist, to build more strength, you separate them while you're coming into the back bend so the shoulders spread out to the sides. Elbows are pouring in towards the rib cage so you have more space to pull through the center of the heart. Down dog is another posture that has a lot to break down. Hands are shoulder width apart, your feet are hips distance. The distancing between your toes and your hands is the same as your high plank. If you were to just take a high plank and pike up into down dog, the hands and feet ideally don't move. That's where you can gain more length of the spine and also more hamstring flexibility. While you're still working on that flexibility of back, abdomen, and legs, bending the knees is a good variation, so you make sure that ultimately, if we come back into the upper arms, you roll them out while the center of the palm still stays pressing down. So you make sure that the muscle is the one causing the movement in order to keep the chest broad and the shoulder blades open. Your ears are kind of in line with the upper arms, so again, you make sure that your neck is long. You still want to create an expansive belly so the tailbone can lift up in towards towards the roof. And the buttock bones, you imagine as if they were going to slide to the heels. And then the heels, once they are able to get down because there's enough flexibility from the hamstrings, you'll get and feel more support. Let's review some common misalignments. It's common that from the high plank, when approaching the chaturanga, the first thing that comes down is quads belly. Again, lower the knees is a variation, so you make sure that you protect the lower back when getting into the progression. Another common misalignment is once you nail the high to low plank and you're lifting up, there might be still some sort of, I'm not going to say weakness, but again, some area of opportunity on the arm to pull yourself up, and then the shoulders start lifting because the neck starts caving in. So a good way to variate this progression as to not fall into that compression of the shoulders is to lower the knees down before getting into that high to low. Also, try to maybe not lift so high on the cobra. Give yourself that chance to just little by little start pulling yourself up. Don't rush yourself. Once you've strengthened the arms to find length through the chest with the shoulders spread out, you might think that deepening the back bend by folding the neck too intensely might help. So you have to be kind with the expansion of the throat and the compression of the backside of the neck, and understand that you have bigger muscles on the front side abdomen that can really help you get more out of the back bend. You're going to tell from my variation of Vinyasa that it doesn't really make a difference on my back bend if I just crunch my neck back. But if I really pull from the center of my belly up, then I get more of a stretch. What happens when you feel that the chest just dives down completely before the hips can follow the center of the heart? Lower the knees. Again, lowering the knees will be key to help you add a little bit more into the progression little by little, making sure that the breath is still helping you connect the little sequence. So be patient with yourself. Then sometimes we lift the tailbone too far out and we let go of the belly because we feel that there's a lot of weight coming in into the upper arms. When that happens, guess what? Lower the knees. And then make sure that the center of the pubic bone is just zipped in again, just like this. Sometimes we are flowing so hard that we just let the momentum take us down like a wave. When that happens, just take an extra breath on the high plank before you go down, just to make sure that you acknowledge if you need to lower the knees or not. And then from there, you lower down like an elevator. I've just added a really good exercise that can help you little by little build more strength. And it's literally just adding inches to your Chaturanga when you're going down from the high plank. Just taking it little by little. You can also do it with the knees bent to make sure that you are purposefully moving into the sequence and letting the body get a little bit of more memory through the muscle. What happens if our elbows widen a little bit too much when we're coming into the high to low? Don't go that low. That little exercise of the high plank, adding inches to go down, can be really helpful when you do it with the knees down, to make sure and double check that the elbows are kindly grazing the side body, just so you acknowledge that they are really pulling in. Well, that's it, guys. I hope this really quick tutorial on how to work on the progressional vinyasa can be of service to you. I'm still in my new build studio at the back of my house, so I hope that my dog's neighbors weren't that loud. Just again, remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and if there's something that you really like to see here, please leave a comment down below. Thank you so much, always and forever, for jumping into this channel, and I hope, again, your days are full of light and blessings.